So let's get into it. I'm finally in the city of Aracaju. This city is the capital of Sergipe. After Maceió, I should have came here, but instead I decided to return to Salvador Bahia. And so far so good. I had a few minor problems, and we'll get into that a little bit. But the city of Aracaju kind of reminds me of Maceió. The only difference is Maceió is a much bigger city, and the airport in Maceió is much bigger. But to talk a little bit about my minor problems is that one of the problems is my 2011 MacBook Pro is on its last leg. Every time I try to do some edits, I'm getting pop-ups saying that my disk is full. So what I try to do daily is delete things, and it kind of helps. But what I need to do is actually get a updated MacBook Pro, so I'll have more of a easier workflow. But that's very minor. Soon I will be back home. And the second minor problem that I ran into is when I went to my apartment I had reserved, there was no one to meet me with the keys. So what my Uber driver kindly did was call him and leave a message because no one answered. And we waited for about, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes and no response. So what my Uber driver said was that if you want, I could take you to a better location near the beach, because the apartment that I reserved here was near a river. The beach was actually about 20 minutes or so away. So when he said that, I was like, okay, let's go. Because, I didn't want to keep him waiting because he's losing money because he could be picking up passengers. And also, I didn't want to just wait there for the owner with the keys because I had no telling of what time he would come. So I didn't want to be just standing there with all this luggage and valuables. So he took me 20 minutes away to the beach, which you're seeing right now. And what we did was we went to 3 hotels and we were checking availability and prices. And on the last hotel, I decided to reserve that because of time. I didn't want to waste his time. And I already knew I was going to give him a little extra for taking his time showing me these places. So the last place that we saw, I reserved that. I paid for that. And it is right across the street from the beach. So it's a much, much better location than the apartment I had reserved. What you're seeing now is the beach area. It's set up like you have the beach, and across the street from this, what you're seeing now, are restaurants, and I actually found a grocery store. So I took advantage of buying some things from the grocery store. But what you're seeing now is I'm walking across the street to the beach. So I just actually came from my hotel. So it's walking distance right across the street from the beach. And the good thing about this hotel is that they have breakfast included. So I do not have to worry about breakfast. All I have to worry about is buying my own lunch and dinner. So that's a plus. So the setup is like Santos Dumont is like, I would say, comparison to Atlantica Avenue in Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro. The same setup. You have the beach, and across the street from the beach you have lots of restaurants, stores. Same setup. Actually, it's the same setup also in Maceió. It's a long strip of a beach, and across the street, same thing. Stores, restaurants. You might find some grocery stores, hotels. But my overall impressions of this city is that I like it. Again, it reminds me a little of Maceió, just a smaller city. I'm not going to talk about safety or anything like that, because if you have watched my video of crime in Brazil, it's really nowhere safe. It doesn't matter what area you are in Brazil, things can still happen no matter what. It depends on opportunity. Therefore, you should be aware at all times of your surroundings. But back to my overall impressions, I like the city of Aracaju, and later I do plan to meet my two friends that live in this city, and they're going to show me a little bit around, because again, this is my first time visiting. So what I'm doing now is I'm just walking along the beach, just taking everything in, looking across the street to see what restaurants are there, and if I see any more grocery stores, and just to check out the scenery. Pretty soon I'm going to go on the beach and check this beach out. And right here's the sign, I love Aracaju. So I will be taking a picture after this person moves of the sign. And also, what I like about Brazil is that if you cannot find a gym, what most beaches have, not all, but I would say most, is a free outdoor gym that you can work out. So I did pass by one, so I will be taking advantage of that also, because I do like eating healthy as possible, especially when I'm traveling, because that's the time when you could go off track and eat bad foods. And also what I like to do, if possible, is work out. It's a part of my regimen, eating healthy and working out. So I will be taking advantage of that. And for those who plan to come to Brazil, it's something I forgot to mention, and that is the right of way for pedestrians that do not exist in Brazil. So if you shall choose to walk along the highway without looking both ways, looking down on your cell phone, guess what will happen? You will get knocked out your shoes, and most likely that car will keep going. So there is no right of way for pedestrians. You might every once in a while meet someone in a car that might stop, but most likely they're going to try to swerve around you or hit you. So be careful. Do not be looking at your cell phone or Instagram trying to post a pic, not looking both ways, because you will get knocked out your shoes, most definitely. I mean, when I'm back home, people do not even look both ways. They look down on their cell phones and just keep walking right in the middle of the street with ease, no problem, knowing that they will not get hit. But other than that, something that I do like, not just here in Aracaju, but in Brazil as a whole, is that people you don't even know personally will most likely say good morning, good afternoon, or good night, hello, or just strike up a conversation, not even knowing you personally. You just met this person. That's the good thing about Brazil, but just traveling to other countries in general. Because not speaking, I don't know why it is only a problem I see in the US. Everywhere else I go, people actually speak to you. It's kind of strange in the US. My parents said that it was not like that all the time, but currently now, most people, they don't speak. If you visit southern US, you probably have a chance of someone speaking to you more than up north, Midwest, or the West Coast. And I don't know why it's like that, but My parents said it's not always been like that. I went to the grocery store earlier and the store clerk had said nice shoes. So they actually saw my shoes and took time to say nice shoes. You'll just meet people like that all the time that randomly like compliment you on different things, or even just ask where you from, or what made you come to this city. Just conversation. It doesn't happen normally in the US. But again, that's a good thing about traveling outside your own country, because you get to see different cultures and how they interact with each other. It's that time of year, and the time is Christmas and New Year. And I was just thinking about it. After 2008, my first time visiting Brazil, I have never spent a Christmas and New Year in the US since. So since 2000, well, after 2008. So that's been a long time. After that, I've spent my Christmas and New Year always in a different country. And like I mentioned earlier in the video about seeing the beach, what I'm going to do now is take you along with me and checking out this beach, so you get a chance to see the layout and how it looks. Now there's different ways you could enter this beach, but I saw this little bridge, so I was interested in taking this that leads you directly straight to the beach. So after that long entrance of a walk, we are finally here at the beach. And the funny thing about this beach is that you still have more of a walk to actually get to the ocean, to the water. So this is lots of exercise. So if you come to Aracaju, be prepared, because as you have seen, this is a lot of walking. So if you don't mind walking like myself, then come check it out. But other than that, like I said, the water, the ocean is a little bit distance from all this sand you see, because of right now you do not see water or anything. All you see is in the distance is kiosks and chairs. I can say I have never seen a beach like this. All this sand, all this space, and where's the water? It's over the hump. So in a few minutes you will see it, but all this sand. Finally, here we go. I'm starting to see an ocean line. I see water. So I just imagine that This beach is never filled with people unless they don't mind exercising, because to walk this far is a lot, especially for someone that's not in shape, lazy, or doesn't like walking, because this is a lot of exercise. Like, I don't even need the gym. This is the gym, because do not forget, I have to walk back also. So now, since you have seen the layout of this beach, my question to you is that have you ever visited a beach with this much space in between the sand and the actual water? Because as you see, this is a lot of space with nothing but sand until you eventually get to the water. If you have visited a beach similar to this, please let me know in the comments section, because I'm just curious. Since earlier I did make a comparison to Aracaju to Maceió, the only difference that separates the two when it comes to the beaches is that the beaches in Maceió, the waters are like a turquoise color. So it's much of a deeper blue compared to this beach here in Aracaju. It's much different. And as you can see, I still have a little bit of a distance to actually touch the water. So again, this was a long walk. And what you're seeing now, finally, is the ocean. And when it comes to the Atlantic Ocean, I have said many times, my opinion is that Brazil has some of the best beaches when it comes to the Atlantic Ocean. Not in America, not the Caribbean. It is Brazil, because Brazil is massive. So you can't compare any little Caribbean island to the massive Brazil when it comes to beaches. There's beaches from all the way north to all the way down south. Different types of beaches, different layout of beaches. And as I had mentioned in previous videos, you have beaches with sand dunes. So it's no comparison. Even in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I visited a country called Cape Verde. Even the beach there only went to one city, and that city was Mindelo. Is nothing compared to the beaches in Brazil. Again, you can't compare something that's small to something that's big, that has many choices, many options. Brazil always wins, hands down, when we talking about the Atlantic Ocean and beaches. Since now you have seen the layout of the beach, what I'm going to do now is exercise back. So walk along with me as I talk about some things. And I want to talk about places that I have not visited as of yet in Brazil. And I'm not going to give away my upcoming travel, but it will be my last travel, meaning that I'm not going to tell you the city right away. You know, you have to keep tuned in to my videos to see where my next, which is my last place, my last city that I will visit in Brazil. Then I will return back to the good old US of A. But that city, in which I'm not going to tell you as of yet, you will see for yourself, is a city that I have not visited before, and is a city that I was going to go ahead and cancel at first. And the reason I didn't is because I have never visited there before. So I don't know what the outcomes will be. I don't know what my first impressions will be. Now, I have had many, and I'm not going to say many, majority of all my friends have said, do not go, you're not going to like it. I thought about it, and again, I was like, well, how will I know unless I actually go and visit to see for myself? So pretty soon you will see this city, but what I'm doing now is getting me something to eat, because again, my hotel offers free breakfast. Therefore, my lunch and dinner, I'm gonna get out on my own. So I saw this restaurant across the street from the beach, and I got some fish, potatoes, rice, and this is a lemonade coconut drink. You gotta check it out in Brazil.